Alrighty, well, let's get into the box score before we get into the game flow because tonight, Ethan, we have a Wemby triple double with blocks. I'm just going to leave it there. Please tell me your thoughts.
It was a dominant performance. I mean, we see him get 20 plus points on a regular basis, and we've seen him get double digit rebounds, but 10 blocks. And in the fashion that he did it, Jude, tonight was the night where we really saw. I mean, we see it every night, but tonight it just exploded off the screen. There's a reason this guy was regarded as the best prospect of all time, like behind LeBron James. Like his defensive impact, what he brings to that on that side of the court alone is so extremely profound and threw the Raptors off all night long. They couldn't get anything inside. And I think it was the first time someone's done it since Clint Capella in 21, but they're totally different players. And then before that, it was Anthony Davis in 2018. I like the Anthony Davis comparison a little more than the Clint Capella one, Jude. But for someone at his age to already have gotten a triple double with the 10 rebounds on efficient shooting and in a blowout win, against a really solid defensive team, like on paper, like Jakob Poeltl, Scotty Barnes. That's a solid front court to do this
hmm
against as well. Um, it feels great and it bodes well for his future.
Yeah, I mean, 27, 14, 5, 2, and 10.
Mm,
Like, if you would have, I mean, I would have thought that I wouldn't have been too surprised if you would have told me before the season, like, okay, I'm a time traveler and he's going to get close to a triple double with blocks. I'd be like, okay, with the wingspan, you know what? I can see it. But still, if you would have told me that he was going to get one, and in the fashion that he got it tonight,
hmm
against Jakob Pertl, really swatted him a couple of times. He missed 5 shots tonight. I think at least 3 of those have got to be Wemby blocks. And really the rest of the game, or the rest of the team, excuse me, defensively as well, which we'll get
hmm
into. But just to talk a little bit more about him, man, I mean, you saw him come out, in rhythm offensively, but the tone was really set right from the jump defensively as well. Um, 2 for 4 from three, efficient, 10 for 14 overall. We we force fed him the ball, but in an efficient way and in a smart way, Ethan. Like we weren't first forcing turnovers. We were being patient. Sometimes we'd make an extra pass. Like there was one time where this was late in the game, but Jeremy was on the wing and he could have just tossed it up to Wemby, but instead he dished it to Keldon in the corner, and then Keldon had an easier
hmm
dump to Wemby that led to a post up. So, I mean, this is one of his best games of the season. This is one of the team's best games of the season. And if this is what he's doing as a rookie, Ethan, I'm just shaking my head for those of you guys on podcast because I can't even begin to imagine what it's going to look like in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, the ceiling is unfathomable. And dare I say, our offensive approach, feeding him in the low block, like you alluded to, reminiscent of the 2013 2014 era Spurs with Tim Duncan. Like our player movement and our ball movement that always inevitably ended up with a low post up for Wemby. And when the Raptors did not send that double team immediately, they let him get into a flow. And he was making very crisp and correct passes out of the low block on the rare occasion they did send the double, but he was, as you said, able to get into a rhythm. And from that point forward, there was just no stopping him.